Stop looking at your phone, it's time to go. I gotta go in 5 minutes.
Go where?
This time I film you unclothed.
I'm not awake yet.
We gotta go in 5 minutes.
Take the camera away.
Okay. We're meeting our logger at 7:30, and it takes about 15 minutes to get there, and we plan on grabbing coffee first, so... How are we doing? I think we're good.
We're running late.
Okay, so let's go.
I have no idea.
Hey, Eric and Christine. Looks like your blueberry plant has blueberries on it. I think those are blueberries. Huh?
What it's really like to be on a film crew off-grid.
Yeah. So true. I'm trying to pull off the messy bun look. And I saw a meme. It's like what other girls look like in messy buns and what I look like in messy buns. Let's just say I feel like I look like Miss Trunchbull and Matilda. Jesse never saw such film. Jesse was busy watching documentaries.
But what? I was too busy filling my brain with usable information to watch that film.
So we found a local logger. We actually got on the phone with him probably 6 months ago and told him that we were gonna be looking to buy a couple loads of logs that we could use to create the timbers for our house. And he said that he has some.
We didn't even know how to find a logger who could get us logs for our house. And our neighbor, who happens to be a logger, he referred us to this local guy.
He actually said there's an entire job. Well, I don't know if we'll get all the trees for the job, but most of the trees should be coming from that job. However, the current project that he's working on apparently has been delayed and they've added more trees. And out of those, he said there's some really quality fir that we might be interested in.
Before today, we actually had this gentleman come over because really critical that we get the logs in the right spot. And so he was kind enough to stop by and took a look at our mill setup and everything to make sure that they can get the log truck in there. And then we kind of talked about like how many logs are we talking about. And when he came by, he got to kind of hear about our story and he got kind of excited about being a part of it. So he actually offered to let us come look at these logs. And a lot of loggers probably wouldn't do that. And we're hoping that we can go look at the other trees eventually, but they're stuck on this job right now. So we've got to go look at these.
And it needs some thinning and harvest done, so. I wanted to talk about them with you. We're watching for wind shake and such, because you really don't want that, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So this one looked pretty good, but there was a little sweep in it. So I didn't know if you could have a few of those, if it's big enough, if you were gonna cut, you know, like 12s or 14s and...
Yeah, so we've been talking to the engineer and we've got what's called a scarf joint on the tie beams, and it kind of looks like two hands holding each other like this.
Okay.
Because we can't get a continuous beam 36 feet. And I think that beam is big. It's like a 10 by 14 or a 12 by 16, but you need 2 feet of overlap to do that. So we need a 14 footer and a 26 footer. It would probably work, but I probably wouldn't work for the 26 footer.
Right,
It'd probably work for the 14 footer. I'm pretty confident you're gonna get a 14 out of that before the bend gets to you.
Well, we're cutting them 28 foot. So what I was thinking is there's some really nice trees. If we could get a load here, then that would get you started, so to speak. And then the other wood could come off the 10 acres. This is kind of what I pictured what you're looking for.
Yeah, this is, I think, around the money. And these are 28 footers?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Beautiful.
Wow.
You want to kind of look at where they're coming from?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Pretty weird to think these could end up in our house one day, right?
It's probably just a little
You don't even start getting the knots until here. So that's at least 26 feet.
Pretty
That's
good.
30 feet.
Here's 28
Yeah.
right here. And 17 inches or so. And to that fence,
Would have been cool to see before shot.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, it's got a little sweep in the butt there, doesn't it?
Kind of look at it from down here. It kind of.
You know, actually it's pretty straight. It's just kind of leaning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
And it's tight knot.
Yeah, the knots are tight. Good 30 plus feet. A lot of those big trees, you're having hand falling all that, right?
We hand fall everything.
Oh, everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we don't have it.
Not running a feller buncher or whatever it's called or whatever.
Wow, that was quite the experience, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is not how I envisioned getting logs. I never thought, wow, this will involve a handshake and, you know, coffee and logging sites. So this was awesome.
While it is possible to go buy your beams from someone, I feel like we both gained a lot by getting to meet this logger in person and understanding the backstory of where the logs are coming from and to feeling them.
I think what's really helped us on this journey is that we've told the story. So if you go to Home Depot and try to tell them that you're building your own home from scratch, they're gonna be like, oh, that's really cool. But I think what's really unique about this logger is that he resonates with our story, and he understands because he's built his own home. And so he knows that when you put that amount of effort into something, you care a lot about where those materials come from. And he's the kind of person who actually respects the forest. He doesn't just want to drop off a load of trees. He wants us to not only know which trees he's bringing, but where they came from, kind of the backstory, what they were a part of. Another thing that really stood out to me today was that this gentleman, he knows our timelines, he knows our story, and he knows that we're kind of under the gun to get this house dried in before winter. And he had originally not promised us, but he'd said, I think we can get you some logs probably, you know, the end of June, and now we're into July. And he knew that, so this job they're doing got extended. And instead of saying, yeah, we'll get to you when we can, he started looking at those trees and thinking, oh, would that work for Jesse and Alyssa? You know, I think it would. Maybe we ought to just come look at it together. And he had the kindness to take us out there in his pickup and say, what do you think of this log? Or what do you think of that log? Because he wants to make sure we're taken care of. And so he's trying to get logs to us. But this isn't like a home supply store where you go in, you order specific materials, they show up in a crate, you take them home. You know, these are pieces of large logs that are 100+ years old. And he's thinking of us while he's hand picking those things, which really just speaks more to the quality of the person and the quality of the trees that we're looking at. Another benefit of working with this local logger, he was patient enough to wait for us to get our house plans pretty much finalized, and he's willing to bring us the length of log that we need, whether that's 27 feet, 28 feet, 29 feet. That commitment to being patient and helping us is so valuable to someone like us who are owner builders. Instead of forcing us to buy whatever they want to deliver, you know, for maximum profits, they're willing to do a lot of the pre-work. If you've ever worked with logs, cutting a log down 3 or 4 or 5 feet is a lot of waste, and they're willing to cut the log to length and bring it to us at length, that's so awesome.
We see a lot of people starting the documentation of their journey once they've done everything. And I think what we're really passionate about is sharing how we're doing it real time.
And what really inspired us to even put in the effort to start documenting this journey and learn how to do it was that we saw kind of a gap in documentation. And so we wanted to start our documentation basically showing up to bare land and working our way through the decision making to find a home. And we've had a massive response. People have said, thank you for documenting this part of the journey. We're not the first, but we've tried to be fairly thorough and share a lot of the big decisions that we've had to make and kind of the head scratching moments and things like that, because a lot of folks can't afford or they want to avoid mortgages and they want to try to figure out how to get these skills to do it themselves. And we're going to go on this journey no matter what. This is kind of what we do. But as far as the documentation part, we didn't know if that was going to be well received or people would even care or not. And recently we've had some really deep, meaningful conversations with people. In fact, in 1 week, I think we ran into 15 people who had found our blog, found our YouTube, found us on Facebook, and really connected with the message. Not so much that they plan to build their own home, but the fact that we share a lot of our mistakes and we share our thinking process and our decision making gave them the confidence to kind of take that step out, you know, from their comfortable life instead of sitting back and kind of being a victim to their current lifestyle. And the reason that's even important is for several months, we've had a lot of people questioning why we choose not to allow people to support us directly financially. And I think the simple answer for Alyssa and I is, one, we're kind of stubborn and we're extremely independent. We didn't start documenting this journey so that people would write us a check. But we don't even to this day want other people to pay our way. But recently we've had some people with as strong of minds as our own emailing us and talking to us and saying, here's the deal. You guys are really generous people. You appear to like to help people, but maybe you're not willing to accept help. I can't really argue with that too much. We do need help and we do accept help, but that kind of strong, independent mind has kept us from allowing people to directly support us with money, because we never wanted people to have to pay to follow our journey. But we've kind of had an attitude adjustment, I'll just call it that, where someone who cared deeply about our story and felt the connection to what we're doing, and they said, I really would love to support you financially. And they said, you know, if you let people, that may be the best way they know how. They might not be your neighbor, they might not, you know, they might not be able to send you tools, but maybe they've got a few extra dollars each month that they can spare, and they want to give that to you. And so after spending some time thinking about it and you know, really pondering that effect on Alyssa and I's journey, we agreed that we should do that. We want other people to feel the joy that we feel whenever we get to help a neighbor. I mean, every time we get a chance to help somebody with something we have, we're hot on it because we want to give that. And we want other people to get that joy. So we decided to set up a Patreon account. We do not expect people to support us, and we did not set up that account so that we can have tiers of support so people can get extra bonus, this, that, and the other thing. We're already doing everything we can, and our promise to anybody, whether you just view the videos or read the blog or, you know, follow us on social media, our promise is that as long as documenting this makes sense for our family and we feel passionate about it, we'll do it. There's no amount of money you're gonna pay Alyssa and I to do this project. It's way too hard, and documenting it is very difficult. So if you feel compelled to, and that's something that you can do and you want to do that, we want to make that available. So thank you for your support. That's something Alyssa and I are very passionate about. We just kind of needed somebody to kind of thump us upside the head and kind of straighten our mind out about how we can let other people help us.
So this is all before 10 a.m. and we're actually on our way to go work on a concrete job. We had a really kind man reach out to us who has some concrete skills and experience, and he's willing to let us job shadow him to some degree. And we're actually at the job site last week. So today we're gonna go back and learn more skills. We're gonna roll up our sleeves.
Yep.
It's gonna be hot, but we're really excited because this isn't an opportunity that comes to everybody.
And we're gonna share more of this too. We're gonna try. You have to understand that we can't videotape everything. We don't run around with video cameras strapped to our head all the time, but this is part of that story. So we hope to share it with the contractor will bless us with that opportunity, how we came about this opportunity to learn how to do concrete. So it's gonna be a long day.
All right, we're here. Time to put on our sun attire.
I'm hoping we're just doing like leveling of the forms and stuff, not pouring any concrete. Any time for my hands to recover.
Yeah.